Welcome back to the Never Say Die podcast. How are you, Jeannine?
I'm terrific. Thank you, Ian.
Anything special happening in your life?
Actually, no, it's pretty warm today, so I'm relaxing on the back patio.
Okay, wonderful. And last episode we were talking about all sorts of things, including you were a babysitter for the Kennedys at one point.
Yes, I've had some interesting jobs.
Can you give us some headlines of the things that you've done that are interesting in your life?
Well, after I came back from Washington, I decided not to follow a career in politics, even though I had that opportunity. I went back to school because I had not really finished any degree at this point. And so I started at Berkeley, and it was right in the late 60s and early 70s when all the disruptions were happening because of the Vietnam War. There were lots of protests by students, teachers, outsiders, and they would rally during the lunch hour and during the day and at night. One of the incidents that I remember distinctly was the ROTC had tables out on Sproul Plaza signing up men mostly to go to war in Vietnam. And the students, all of us, were protesting wildly, trying to upset the tables and make mayhem basically. And the police were there on campus, and I remember so well because they were in ranks of 10 policemen in a row and 10 rows deep. And they didn't carry guns, they carried billy clubs, and they used to swing them as they came onto the plaza. And it was a terrifying time and an exciting time and a time of change. Even though sometimes you can't feel change, we did feel change during that period of time at Berkeley.
Yeah, so I'll try and find some more information. I'm sure there's some stories out there. Might actually put it as a YouTube link in the show bio there. So check out the show notes if you'd like to learn more about that time in history that you got to live through.
I did. And on reflection, I go, wow, I really lived through an interesting, exciting era.
Do you think it changed you as a person?
Oh, absolutely. Radically. Well, first of all, I saw the other side of the coin, so to speak. I was kind of uptight and, I was raised in a Catholic girls' school and I was quite uptight. And I went to Berkeley and it was like the doors burst open. And I began to look at things from both sides of the coin. And it was thrilling and scary, to say the least. And things were happening around us so fast. And there were riots and discussions and marches and disruptions in the classroom and a lot of stuff going on that, of course, I had never even experienced, let alone thought of. And I was there for 3 years, and it radicalized my thinking. It's never changed. Berkeley changed me, and I never reverted back to the old ways.
So, hearing about all that and knowing the history of it, has it left you with the belief that people should stand up to change the society that they live in?
Well, to this day, I believe that everyone has a responsibility, now I'm speaking personally, has a responsibility to the people and your society that you live in. There are disadvantaged people, and I just think that we have to be more open to helping and enabling people to get educated, get good jobs, be able to feed their families, take care of their children, etc. That has never changed since I left Berkeley. In fact, it's gotten stronger.
Now, going back to what this channel's really about, which is the adventures of Jeannine as she defies death's attempts to get a hold of her. I guess what I'm wondering is, do you think your adventurous streak has grown stronger with age?
Absolutely. Every day you see more opportunities and more things that you have yet to discover and uncover, more things you want to read, faster cars.
What are the top of the list things that you're really looking forward to experiencing now that we're on this trajectory to get you back out into the more adventurous side of life?
I'd like to meet more people who can look at both sides of a situation and discuss it rationally. That's a tough one because not many people have the time to do that or the inclination. But it's thrilling when you meet someone who stops and says, yeah, I'd like to talk about that.
Now, we take a lot of drives here and there and everywhere, and most weeks we're grabbing coffee, talking about changing the world. And,
yeah, right.
But is there a memory of a place that we've gone to or driven to that really stands out as one of the core memories of like our time together and it inspires you to do more?
Yeah, can't remember exactly where it is, but it was a picnic table. There was a slight clearing, and there was a creek down below us, and we were sitting at the table, and I was talking with you, and for the first time since I had known you, which had by that time had been years, I realized that we both thought alike, and it was after that that our discussions became even more meaningful to me, and the readings that you suggested to me, I took easily and really enjoyed discussing with you. It was that at that picnic table. Do you remember where that was?
Yeah, I think it's I'm looking at it on the map here. So I think it's around Hidden Springs.
But I can remember leaning on my elbows looking at you thinking, he gets me, he gets it.
Yeah.
I get him. One of the books that you recommended to me was The Experience of Death.
Was that Journey of Souls?
Journey of Souls, yes. That was my first experience with that there was another way of dying and experiencing death, and that it was not a fearful thing to do.
That book is called Journey of Souls by Dr. Michael Newton. Dr. Michael Newton was basically a skeptic and a scientific-minded person who was doing regression hypnotherapy, and over his course of doing his work in a very scientific manner, he kept coming across what you might call afterlife experiences from multiple patients. And following that scientific theory, he said, well, if this is evidence, I have to accrue this, I have to document this. And he ended up on a pathway to dig into that, and the book is deeply compelling. It explains a lot about what we are as souls in human bodies and where we come from and where we go. And if you're interested in that at all, I would recommend reading it. It's absolutely a game changer.
I can tell you, though, that reading it the first time, I liked the reading. I understood it. I need to read more about it. But the fear of death disappears, which is an interesting experience all by itself. Yeah. I've tried to recommend it to several people, but they have to be in a certain frame of mind before they say, oh yeah, I'd like to read that.
Yeah, it's like leading the horse to water, right?
Right.
Now, if there's anything that you could say to the listeners, these listeners could be anywhere on the planet. We have no idea of knowing who's listening to the podcast right now, other than, as I say this, if you want to say hi, reach out to us on our Instagram. The handle is @NeverSayDieTheChannel. We'd love to hear from you, and let us know where you're from, because we never know who's listening and where they're from. But if you had a message for our listeners.
Just recently, I realized that I don't have to travel to Paris or Rome or South Africa or any of the exotic places in the world. What I need, and I think most people need, is having a friend who has a curious mind and sitting with them over a cup of coffee and exploring their mind. It's like being away on a trip, and it's thrilling. Some of our excursions into the mountains, and we've been gone for 3 or 4 hours, and I feel as if I've been away for weeks, because we talk in the car, we talk when we stop, we talk on the picnic bench and on the rock and wherever we are, looking out at the beautiful scenery, talking about things that are important to us, and it's like a trip you've never experienced.
Yeah, I think I've always been very good at challenging viewpoints whilst doing my best to never push any of them. So I'll always ask people, why they think certain things, and if they do, well, why? And then I'll say, well, have you read this? This contravenes it, or have you read that?
Yes, right.
And if they're interested, then they can take it, and if not, that's no problem. We all get to choose.
In my own mind, I say my best trip is with Ian.
Oh.
So, it's always interesting. I never come away disappointed. I always want to talk longer, deeper, more often. So I guess that's good friendship.
Yeah. Is there anything you're looking forward to this coming week?
Well, yes, I'm anxious to see Steve over at House.
Oh, we should probably talk about that. So for those of you who haven't found us on YouTube, we're also on YouTube, it's our main channel, basically. So what we're doing is we're getting Jeannine to stay young by getting very adventurous, whether it's to do up her car or put her in the hot laps of even faster cars than hers, or possibly even throwing her out of a plane, which I can see she's grimacing as I say that. But our goal is to bring youth through activity and keep her young by kind of finding those bucket list items. So if you haven't already checked it out, jump onto youtube.com/@NeverSayDieTheChannel and check it out. But of course, this week we're actually going to see Steve, who is from The House, which is a independent Mini Cooper and BMW repair shop that we know around the corner from us here in Los Angeles. And we're actually going to go and ask him what we can do to Jeannine's little BMW 228i. To trick it out, to mod it up, to make it faster. And I spoke with them today, and he gave me a little bit of ideas, and I said, stop. Wait until we're out there filming tomorrow. So that's going to happen tomorrow morning, actually.
Yeah, I'm looking. I like Steve, and he has worked on my car in the past, and I know he's going to have some ideas on how to make it faster.
Excellent.
And what kind of tires I should purchase next.
Yeah. Well, I checked your tires this week. They're still quite good. But
well, we'll work on something else. We have a list, I know.
Yeah, I was going to say I can make your tires less good by doing some burnouts if you like. I think we've still got that on the list for this week as well.
I've mentioned that to several friends. They're not sure what that is. And I say, remind them of movies they've seen where the car kind of stops momentarily and spins in place. And they'll go, oh, yes. I said, you want to experience that with us? and they're hesitant, but usually they say, okay.
Well, maybe
We'll see.
maybe start with showing them the video, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, right.
All right. Well, thank you, Jeannine. It's been another great episode.
Thanks, Ian.
And thank you for listening to the Never Say Die podcast. We are going to be kicking on with this into the future, sticking around, letting this channel grow. So if you'd like to come with us on that journey,
Give us ideas.
like Jeannine said, reach out on our Instagram. It's where we take our messages. That's the @NeverSayDie, the channel handle on Instagram. And let us know if there's things that we haven't thought of that you'd like to see Jeannine do, or if you have any questions at all. Just message us through there and we get back to every single one.
Love to hear from you.
Thank you so much for listening.
Bye.